Hey guys, it's me Sheiks, and today I'm going to be explaining everything you need to know about GCSE exams in 2021. For those of you who this content isn't really relevant to, I would recommend skipping this video and going watching something else because, you know, it's not really related to typical content on my channel. But for those who are curious and want to know more, keep watching this video. So I'm going to be explaining everything that is currently known about our exams and offering advice on what you can do to get a better grade.
Can you give us a cast iron guarantee that exams will not be cancelled?
Absolutely. It is not possible to have these exams this year. I can confirm that GCSEs, A-levels and AS level exams will not go ahead this summer. This year we're going to put our trust in teachers rather than algorithms.
What does this mean for us students? Well, as things currently stand, for the rest of the year we have to continue to attend our lessons either online or face-to-face and give 100% effort. Personally, I find that giving this much prolonged effort and every small assessment mattering immensely puts like a huge amount of pressure on students both in A-levels and GCSEs, and as a result young people's mental health will decline. But as it currently stands, we're going to receive a teacher assessor grade. But what does this mean for us as students? Essentially, exams serve the purpose of displaying how good we are at a subject, when in reality, exams kind of suggest how you can understand and apply exam technique and how well you can memorise facts. And that's not really a true reflection of how much you know about a certain subject. Fortunately, our teachers have a better understanding of how good we are at a specific subject, as they have been teaching us for the best part of 2 years. Unless obviously a teacher's gone on maternity leave or some other circumstance. But this means that they will want us to do as well as possible because it's our future and it's our grade. But, you know, we don't always show that we are the best student. So how are we gonna show that we are capable of getting a certain grade? For example, some schools haven't sat mock exams yet, which is probably a rather large impact on our overall grade. And for some people, they haven't sat year 10 mocks either, which is kind of a big deal because they haven't sat any mock exams. But those who haven't sat them yet, there is an opportunity for you guys to prove that you are capable of getting your desired grade if you do get to sit these exams. But what if you sat your exams and you don't have a good grade in your mocks? Or what if you don't get to sit your mocks? As important as mocks are to our final result, they are by no means our final grades. Teachers will be setting assessments more frequently, but don't panic. Getting a lower grade on some of the smaller assessments is okay, because not everybody's perfect 100% of the time. And it shows that you are capable of improvement as well. And small assessments on a whole are decent because if you can consistently get a certain grade, then that grade is more likely to become your final grade. As long as it's not a bad grade, then, you know, I would hope that you would strive to improve. For example, some subjects like PE, drama, computing, technology, etc., it's essential that you do well in your NEA, your non-examined coursework, because a good result in these could be indicative to your teacher that you're capable of achieving X mark, and they will be more inclined to push you to achieve a higher grade. Furthermore, we won't be judged on how well our school performs on a whole and how well previous students have done in the past. Instead, we'll be judged purely on our academic abilities, which for most is way better than previously. However, Ofqual will be providing papers for students to sit, as they want evidence that work is carried out without external support. Interestingly, they want most of the weight for our grades to be carried out at a closer date that is like similar to when we were meant to be sitting our exams, and this will provide a more accurate reflection on how we would have performed in our exams, allegedly. So it's been hinted that we will receive our grades earlier than usual, so it allows time for appeals in August. This suggests that they actually anticipate some problems to arise. However, Gavin Williams suggests that they should be taken as late as possible to give students as much time as possible to study for exams. Allegedly, we'll be sitting these mini exams in May and June, with us getting our results in July. and it's also indicated that we'll be out of school by mid-June, which is pretty decent. However, that does mean we have less time to study and revise and less chance to get a higher grade. Ofqual are worried that if these papers are set at different times, what is on the paper can get leaked, and some students will receive an unfair advantage. Currently, it hasn't been decided whether these externally set papers will be mandatory or optional, and if they're mandatory, we are basically sitting exams, which, puts us at a greater disadvantage, because not only are we sitting exams, we're sitting them probably a month or two earlier than the previous years, and we are more likely to get a lower grade due to less study time and less revision. But what advice can I offer you? So my first piece of advice would be to fully engage in your online / face-to-face lessons. If you show that you're willing to learn and try to improve your grade, then the teachers are more likely to want to give you a higher grade, to want to help you improve. And if you're showing that you care about your grade, they're more likely to want to help and give you a higher grade. But please remember, don't suck up too much, because it's kind of, there's nothing bad about sucking up too much. It's just like a teacher can kind of see, I guess, if you don't give one and then the next second you're like asking for extra homework or whatever. I don't know what people would do, but yeah. Second off, I would say hand in all your work on time and give 100% effort. Please remember that these pieces of work could count for something, and you want to try your best. You don't want to just half-handedly hand in this piece of work and it's way below your actual abilities, because it's not indicative of the level of work you are capable of. Third, never be afraid to ask for help. Your teachers are there to provide support and help, and if you don't understand something, you can always ask. See, we could teach ourselves easily. We could easily grab a textbook and teach ourselves the content. But we don't. We have teachers, and it's in their job to help us out. So if we don't understand something, it's our duty as students to go and ask them for help, even if we don't like them. Even if you don't like your teacher, you've got to ask for help, because asking for help is the first level to understanding something. And if you understand something, you're more likely to get it in exams, and you'll be able to revise more effectively as well. Fourth, social media. Social media could be used to such an advantage if you use it right. You see, teachers always think, oh, we're spending too much time on social media. Wrong. Social media can vastly improve your grades. Now, let me tell you why. So, understandably, we all use social media, and imagine it takes up a lot of our screen time. So, why not use it to your advantage? Follow accounts that can help you revise. So when you're scrolling through your feed on Instagram, you might be reminded of some facts you've forgotten. Or, for example, TikTok, which I use a bit to just scroll through. There are accounts on there like quick maths tips, history accounts, stuff like that will teach you how to do maths in a 30-second video, 50-second video, whatever. And the same with all the other subjects. And it can just be a quick revision. So you're just scrolling through TikTok, oh look, there's a maths video. And you get to either revisit something you've already learned, or you learn something about the subject that you might have forgotten in the past or whatever. And it helps cement this knowledge in your brain, so when you come to a mock or whatever, or a mini exam, you're like, wait, I saw a TikTok on this. I remember how to do this, I'll just do it like that. My next piece of advice is don't set a rigid study schedule. Setting a strict study schedule may improve your revision, but for most people, like me, it makes me procrastinate or revise less effectively. Studies have shown that revising for brief periods more frequently is more effective than studying for longer periods less frequently. And this is due to just constant relearning certain facts, and actually going over a subject, say doing 20 minutes a day on a certain subject, you just go through randomly, spontaneously going, yep, I remember that. It helps with recall and it will help you in exams. Another piece of advice is try to do something that's useful for you every day. So no matter if it's just sitting and revising for 20 minutes or whatever, or if you're just there and you just randomly recite the reactivity series, because the more you repeat it, the more likely you are to remember it. My final tip of the day is to leave time for yourself to relax. don't go overboard on studying, and try to section off your time into just school and free time. So say you have online lessons between 8:30 and 3:15. So you specifically leave that time for school, and you don't get distracted. You try not to get distracted as much as possible. You try to be attentive and online. But then as soon as school's out, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Go out with your friends. Well, obviously with the social parameters, and then talk to your friends online, hang out, play games, do whatever you want, and then occasionally revise, like maybe just recite a reactivity series like I said. But make sure that you actually have a balance between your social life and school, because finding a balance is one of the most important factors. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is all I have currently. It's all the government's announced, but I'll keep you posted in the future. And yeah, if you want to see more tips on how I revise, then don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Peace.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but